Hey everybody, welcome back to the Royal Read. I am so glad you decided to stop by and see what I'm reading on. But before we get started, you already know I ask you to do it every single day, and that would be to go down in those settings. Look around, find that subscribe button, and go ahead on and subscribe. Why not? Let me tell you, this is the best community on these internet streets. And if you don't believe me, go in the comments, talk to somebody, conversate with somebody, and I am willing to bet you are going to want to be a part of it. So hit that subscribe button, and while you're in there, hit the notification bell too, so you'll know when I upload or when I just want to pop in. And give me a thumbs up to fight my nemesis too, the beast, the algorithm. It won't leave me alone, y'all. But I'll be fighting back. I do. Also, I want to thank all of the people, all of the readers that support the channel by watching the commercials. Let me tell you, it means everything and it helps so much. So I'm so appreciative and so thankful for you. I know it's not easy. I know watching the commercials and that skip button is so tempting. But when you choose to support the channel, it just means everything. Also, over in the corner, that's our join button. That's for channel memberships. And if you choose to become a channel member and a part of the reading club, you will be supporting my channel to grow, to improve, and to continue. And I'll be so grateful, so thankful, so over the moon appreciative to have your support. Also, if you just want to do a one-time donation, look over in the other corner. That's our super thanks. And let me tell you, all donations to the channel is always greatly appreciated. All right, y'all, I really do have some shout outs. But like I said, I do those when I'm front facing. And I am going to be front facing tomorrow. I promise. I promise. I was yesterday. I just didn't do a read. But I digress, y'all. Y'all know what time it is. Y'all know when I am putting the read together, y'all know what I do. I hit these internet streets. And let me tell you, I have been on these internet streets a lot today. I'm telling you, I went to just about all of the social media platforms. I did. But I really stayed on X, formerly known as Twitter, the sewer, because it's just so much interesting stuff going on. And I'm telling you, I love the other platforms. Don't get me wrong. And y'all know how much I love TikTok. But it's just something about that sewer. The squatties over there, they just absolutely put it down. They know exactly who needs to be drugged and why we are dragging them. Yes, I'm telling you, I love the squatties on X, formerly known as Twitter. Not saying I don't love the other squatties. Y'all know I do. Y'all know I do. But today I just stayed a lot on Twitter. And let me see, we are talking about on Twitter, they are still dragging William and Kate. And I love that. Y'all know I love that. And they're dragging Charles, him just being a trash human being, how he continues to shield Andrew, just absolutely continues to tolerate him and embrace him and invite him, in on family functions, but yet and still, it's Harry and Meghan, they're the problem. Well, I guess, when you're a very unpopular monarch, that has self-esteem issues, and just absolutely jealous and envious of your own child, I guess, this should be no surprise to anybody that you would behave in such a manner. But I said what I thought about it yesterday in my one of my podcasts. Well, not my podcast, but one of my pop-ups. I think it was in the pop-up. And when I said that, I really felt that this was all about them trying to reflect from the fact that William is not there. that Charles is a monarch who does not have a good relationship with either of his children. And he has allowed his horse to rip him from any blood relation that he has. So all I can say is not surprised at all that he would hold tight to his nuts brother, because at the end of the day, he is not overshadowing him. He is not, more popular than he is, and he has the ability to throw him under the bus and then drag him from under the bus as needed. And that's what all this was about. Distractions. To distract from Charles's shortcomings. His shortcomings as a monarch, his shortcomings as the head of the family, his shortcomings as a father and a grandfather. Charles is just absolutely a failed human being. He really is. And what the monarchy is today, I have said it time and time again, is of his doing. It's his fault. William is the way he is because of him. His relationship with Harry is because of him. He is always been such a selfish, self-centered, self-aggrandizing human being that now all the chickens are coming home to roost, and it's there for everyone to see his failure. He is a failed human being. But I digress. Let's get into the read. We have a lot, of course, and so we're going to get into it. First, I'm going to put this up. And this particular post is from People, and it says Kate Middleton and Prince William spent Easter with her parents instead of the royal family. Now, I didn't read the article in its entirety, but it seems like they don't know for sure if they actually were with her parents and went to church with her parents. Because that is what's being reported, that they went to church in Sandringham with her parents. I'm just saying. So, like I said, this particular squatty came up under that and said this: everyone knows Willie was not with the Middletons. The question is, was he spending the holiday with Jason or Rose? Yeah, nobody's believing it. At least the squatties are not believing it. I'm just saying. And a squatter came up under that post and said this: you're concentrating on the wrong topic. The right topic or question would be, why didn't Kate and William not wish their plebes a happy Easter on their socials? Aren't they Christian anymore? Heck, next in line hadn't even mentioned the Pope's passing. Have they got a problem with Christianity? I mean, Kate said not long ago the Middle East is her favorite place. Or did Andrew take the password? Or Jason said no to posting? Kate and the children may have spent time with her parents. William may have spent time with the boyfriend. Y'all know every time that they call one of the squatties, call Jason Knopf, William's boyfriend, I have to giggle. I get the giggles. I do, because I love it so much. It's so delicious. And as y'all can see, the squatties are not letting up on William and Kate about this religion, because of the fact that the word on the curb. And I mentioned it in my last segment of the word on the curb, that they have really let it be known, allegedly, that they're no longer really religious, and he wants to try to get out of being the head of the English church. Now, I don't know if that's true or not. This is just the talk on these internet streets. And like I said, if you hadn't heard me talk about it, go back to my last word on the curb. But yeah, so the squatties are not letting up on that. And I do find it strange that, they say that they went to church, but squatties are doubting that. We know that they didn't go to church with Charles. Well, we kind of talked about why that might be, but also they haven't acknowledged one of the biggest events that happened today, and that would be the passing of the Pope. I mean, the Holy Father, the head of the Catholic Church. And I'm sure that that should be something that he should have, I don't know, at least made a post about. But the squatties are giving all of it a side eye. What is going on here? Just asking questions. That's all. Just asking questions and stirring the pot like we usually do. Love it. Love it. All right, y'all. I'm going to put this one up, and it says, "That's been my only response to derangers over the Easter period when they say the lazies didn't go to church because of Andrew." Yes, this is the excuse that they pull from their fevered mind, that they really thought that this would help soothe the fact that these people are not who they want them to be. They want them to be Harry and Meghan, but they know that they fall so short from that. So they have to make up excuse after excuse after excuse that doesn't make any sense. And let me tell you, the squatties find so much pleasure in presenting receipt after receipt after receipt of these two mediocres in the car with Andrew, going to church with him. So, how could it be that they did not show up for church? It's about Andrew. Stop it. Stop it. Like I said, this is what they have been coming up with, and they have been parading that same old tired excuse up and down these internet streets. But the squatters are not allowing them to get away with it. Not as long as we can present receipt after receipt after receipt. But this particular squatter goes on to say, "So been asking them if that's why they didn't wish their plebes a happy Easter." Yes, why? Well, why is that? Was that because of Andrew as well? It says on their social, cause of Andrew. Just what I was saying. Is it because of Andrew too? And it says no one has responded so far. Still waiting. Well, you're going to wait a long time, because that's the way they do. When you get those derangers tied up in a knot, when you really, really tie them up tight, they don't have any kind of response in return. You hear nothing from them. It has happened to me time and time again. If you really go in good on them, you ain't gonna get nothing back. And I really love it when that happens. I really do. All right, y'all. I'm gonna put this up, and it's two responses to that article. And this one says, "Pictures or it didn't happen. If you know, you know." Exactly. Because we know that we were told that he was at the funeral of his uncle. What was his name? Lord Fellows? Yes. And we never did get any confirmation that he was really there. It was very, very dicey that he was there. And now we're getting the same kind of questioning if he was at church or they were at church in Syndrome. Now, it's no pictures coming out. I know that the Daily Fair wrote an article about them being at church, and so did people, but it's no new pictures attached to them being there. So you telling me they were able to go to church and nobody snapped a pic? Or they did not, let anybody know that they were going so people could take pictures to accompany the articles that are being written, because these are clearly planted articles. This clearly is out of Kensington Palace wanting people to know, because it just didn't go down well with the public that William and Kate did not attend church with Charles and Camilla. It just didn't go down well that the air kind of blew off Easter. And so this to me is cleanup. And this is the way the squatties are feeling about it. They're trying to tell us that they went, but it's no visual evidence that that happened. Kind of like the same cleanup with Lord Fellows' funeral. Yeah, that they didn't think Harry was coming. Then Harry popped up and came. And then all of a sudden they were saying William was there too. But no kind of confirmation, really. At least none that you could actually believe. And this kind of feels the same way. That it feels like a planet story. And so far, it's no confirmation that they were there except the daily fail. And people, I guess, is coming in behind the daily fail because we all know they will do that. They will lie. So where are the pictures? Where are the pictures? That's all we're saying. Until we see some pictures, we're not believing that. Also, this other squatty says this: I have seen nothing laughing my A off. Also, isn't it weird that they claim that they stayed back from Easter to spend time with their family, but are now claiming that they did in fact go to church? Well, this is what I'm saying. Which is it? And it goes on to say, so why couldn't they go to church with William's cancer-stricken father, then gone off and spend the rest of the day together as a family? Why did they have to go to church just with his own family? Something stinks, and it does. It stinks from high heaven because it doesn't make sense. It's another one of those 2 plus 2 equals 5 deal. Yes, they always want us to believe that 2 plus 2 equals 5, when in actuality, it just doesn't smell right. It just does not pass the smell test. Something is going on here. Now, like I said, it's a lot of theories out there. I did my word on the curb about one of them was that they're mad because Cammy, the horse, actually called the paparazzi on them while they were on vacation because she and Charles are mad because they're not working. Now, that is the word on the curb, but who knows what the real reason is? But like this particular squatter said, something stinks. Something is not right. And like I was also saying earlier, it really says a lot about Charles. Neither one of his children are by his side and supporting him in his monarchy, in his reign. It is crazy to me. This man has absolutely just destroyed a family. And well, he has allowed his horse to do so. Same thing. Same thing. All right, y'all. I'm going to read some of the responses from some of the squatties. I'm just going to read them. I'm not going to put them up. And one squatty said this: those are old photos. The first photo is definitely old, so I did not bother looking at the rest of them. This particular squatty is talking about the pictures that is attached to the People's article, and also the pictures in the Daily Fails article. They all use old photos. Where are the new photos? If they went to church, where are the photos? That's all the squatters are saying. And basically, without photos, nobody's going to believe this nonsense because it looks and smells like a cleanup because of that comment section in the Daily Fail. I talked about it in my pop up, how that comment section, they were going in on William and Kate. I know a good 80% of it was them going in on them. And this is cleanup, saying that they went to church. And we really don't believe that. That's all I'm saying. Most people don't really believe that because it's no evidence. And then another squatter said this: no one saw them. It said that they slipped out of the back door. What nonsense. I agree. Why is it they're always slipping out the back? They say that they're there. Nobody sees them, but they're slipping out in the back. This other squatter said, is this the same William last seen at the is this the last William last seen at the farm shop with the missing brunette? They're never gonna live that one down. That was, we got to understand these are the people we are dealing with. You put together a whole fake farm shop video and you won't lie about being at church? Yes, you will. And you won't lie about having cancer? Yes, you will. That's all I'm saying. We don't believe none of it because we know who we are dealing with. And these people do not have a truthful bone in their body. But I tell you what, this squatty made me chuckle about that. And it's true. These people put together whole, a whole production of a farm shop video with some woman that looks like Kate, and you trying to tell me that they won't lie about going to church? Stop it. Stop it. That's all I'm saying. All right, y'all, I'm going to put this one up. And this one says the Easter cleanup job isn't going well. William and Kate keep giving the excuse that they have a young family and need to spend time together. Most of the population doesn't have the luxury, and it's tone deaf to suggest that people should feel sorry for them. Exactly. And how long would they use that excuse that they have a young family? Your family is so young, you cannot take them to church. You have taken, last Easter, you took them to church. I mean, and that is what most family say is spending time together when they're going to church. After church, they could have, like, everybody comes home after church. They have Easter dinner. They don't have cooks and maids and all these people to take care of them. These people have people who actually help them to get dressed and get the children dressed. So you telling me you can't go to church? Come on now. Come on now. And when you come back from church, your meal is ready for you because your cook has prepared it, and the Easter eggs are already hidden because your staff has done it for you, and you are trying to get us to feel sorry for you. Whew, I'm telling you, that right there is something. I just don't see how the taxpayer of Great Britain continues on with this farce of a family. It is ridiculous, to say the least. And squatties are busy pulling up receipts from long ago because they are really, really going in on this whole Jason Knopf angle, meaning William's boyfriend, allegedly. And maybe he had something to do with Y'all know how squatties are, but like I said, allegedly, allegedly, allegedly. I'm gonna put this one up, and it says the man has been telling y'all that he loves for his love of aubergines for quite some time now. During an interview with BBC Radio 1, William joked that his most used emoji is the aubergine. Wonder why? Wonder why? What does he be, texting people where he's using the aubergine all the time? And we all know the aubergine, we call them eggplants here in America. You know what that symbolizes. It's, it doesn't symbolize a aubergine. It doesn't symbolize a eggplant. It represents something else. I'm just saying. And it says, I don't think that was a joke. But okay, now let's ask Jason. Let's ask him. And all those other, members of his bearded crew. You know all those folks. I mean, he does not have a straight man in his office. All the men are gay men with beards. And now he has one. I'm just saying. And his favorite emoji is an aubergine. Okay, William. We see you. We see you. We see you. And I'm gonna put this up. And this particular squatty said this. Well, maybe if they let him live his truth, he wouldn't be a lazy loser with a drinking problem and a nasty, nasty temper. Because it is known that he definitely has a drinking problem and he has a nasty temper, allegedly. All right, y'all, I'm gonna put this up, and looks like Big Back Rebecca English is on her BS again and trying to use the death of the Pope to prop up that slumlord of an heir of theirs, as trying to make him into this global statesman that we all know that he is not. And this is her posting about the Pope's death, trying to get a word in, I guess, to assure that WikiLeaks is the one that goes to the Pope's funeral instead of Charles. I wouldn't be surprised if Charles did send Edward and Sophie instead of them, because I would not be surprised if WikiLeaks did not want to go. And we all know, Lord, do we know, that Kitty Cats just fades on the world stage. She just cannot do very well on the world stage, and that will be the world stage. And we all know she shies away from that because she always seemed to fall on her face. But I digress. This is what Big Back Rebecca English wrote. Tributes are being paid following the passing of Pope Francis. We expect something from Buckingham Palace this morning. Officials also waiting to learn of the Pope's funeral intentions and its heads of states or their representatives. Most likely, Prince William will be invited. Yes, this is what Becky is out here in these internet streets talking about. And when we know that Willie Leaks, the slumlord, and his sidekick, Kitty Cat, fades like, I'm telling you, ink in the rain on a piece of paper when it comes to them being on the world stage. Because let's not forget, the last time William was on the world stage, he did nothing but lick Donald Trump's boots. And it was so embarrassing. And let's not even think about Kitty Cat being on the world stage, because we all know that that's another reason why I feel that she got the performative cancer, other than her trying to cleanse herself of her racist remarks, being the royal racist, but was to get her off the world stage, because she just absolutely, where Megan shines on the world stage, Kitty Cats falls down and hits her head every time when she's on the world stage. And so they use it on a regular basis. Either they're using the kids being young, or they're using that, her performative cancer. But William, I can't. Just the thought of him being on the world stage. The last time, that goofy grin of his, and he looks so bad. He looks like he just left his crack pipe on the side table of his hotel. He looked just that bad. And he was down there licking Donald Trump's boots, which was so embarrassing. So I hope not. I hope Charles can gather some energy and go himself. But please leave his horse at home, because we don't need her wandering around getting lost. Because we all know she don't halfway know where she's at most of the time. I'm just saying. And in response to that post, this particular squatter said this: Charles gets invited first, but Ken sent a rep instead. Government technically decide the rep, I think, but in reality, Charles has say. Neither Charles nor government seem to have confidence in Willie. I see Sophie and Edward, or Anne, being the preferred choice. I do too. I agree with this squatty. I'm leaning more towards Anne. I am leaning more towards Anne. But no, Anne got hit in the head by kicked in the head by that horse. I don't think Anne, and I'm not being funny right now, and I'm not being facetious. I don't think Anne is 100, because if you saw her at the Easter service, she didn't even shake the priest's hand. She just kind of scurried off and got in the car while everybody else was shaking the priest's hand. And Zora seems a little, she seemed a little, mm, you know. So I don't know. I guess if I had to put money on one of these two, I would say Sophie and Edward, because Anne is not 100, They don't want to say it, but I think that horse did a do on Anne. It really did. But I digress. And the next, what he said this: Yes, same. Don't think William is trusted. He was tasked with meeting Trump, and that exchange was so incredibly awkward. My God, the handshake. Don't forget the handshake. Trump had zero respect for William. Absolutely. Absolutely. He had zero respect for William. One person he did have respect for, and that was the proper queen. He was thrilled to bits to meet her. He was thrilled to bits to have that state dinner with her. I don't think he's impressed by Charles at all either, because he has absolutely saw who these people are from afar, and he is a number one grade A jerk. So he wouldn't be impressed with them, but to be honest, are they really that impressive? I'm just saying. All right, y'all, we're going to switch gears a little bit and talk about the mother duck and her little ducklings, and how people are losing their minds over it. I'm gonna put this up, and this particular squatty said this: Sorry, Sussex Squad, went down the deranged rabbit hole. The mental meltdown over a duck and her ducklings pushed me over the edge. And that is so true. They had a full on meltdown about this mother duck and her ducklings only because Megan was watching them cross her own street on her own property. But yet, and still, these fevered minded trolls, all of these deranged, old, ugly, old, broke down hags and skanks, could not take it. And they had to make up all these fevered minded conspiracies about it. I saw one of them saying that how dare Megan interfere with wild nature? She should be ashamed of herself. And if I am looking at the video properly, Megan is just watching them. She is not interfering with them. And I'm sure that they're her ducks, so she can do whatever she wanted to with them. But I digress. This is what you're dealing with. These are the favorite minds of these trolls. You cannot with these people. You cannot approach them with a logical or rational mind because it is no logic involved in being a sussecator. It is just not. They will twist themselves into knots to hate a mother duck and her ducklings. I kid you not. And look at this. I'm going to put this up. And the Mail even wrote an article about the ducklings. I kid you not. They did. And this particular squatty said this: no, but the rotten, vile, trashy Daily Fail think it's a conspiracy theory now. Megan is in secret talks with the duck and her ducklings to take over the world. You really can't make this SHIT up. You can't. This is how favorite minded they are. I cannot. And I'm going to post it up here. This is the article that the Daily Mail wrote. And it says Megan's overwhelmed with cuteness. And then it says conspiracy theories accuse Meghan Markle of staging Easter duckling video after noticing details. These people, I'm telling you, how can you deal with them rationally when they're so irrational? Talking about conspiracy theorists. I mean, conspiracy theorists about a mother duck and her ducklings. And my whole thing is, what is the theory? What is the conspiracy? I mean, it's crazy. These people are crazy. I'm gonna put this up. And this particular squatty said this: hello, Mama Duck. Has the Daily Fail has the Daily Fail reached out to you yet? To find out how Megan bullied you and your babies. Did she make you cry? Did she yell at you without yelling? Please, when you are ready to talk, reach out to Maureen Eden and others. Exactly. I would not be surprised if they would not hide in the bushes to see if it really was a duck. I'm telling you, these fever minded people, these derangers, saying that it was AI. It wasn't even real ducks. These people are crazy. Yeah, so you think they wouldn't reach out to the duck? I'm telling you, crazy, crazy, crazy. And this particular squatty said this: another story, the selective news outlet, the Daily Fail UK, missed. One loves nature while the other one so cruelly eliminates nature. Who would you rather be? Exactly. Look at her carrying one of the ducks while Megan is just watching the ducks. But yet the conspiracy theories really feel like something is amiss with Megan watching her own ducks cross her own road on her own property. Now stop it. It is just ridiculous because I didn't say nothing about Kate killing these ducks. Now, it's not something that I approve of, but she is on her own property. Well, the royal family property. I mean, it's just ridiculous. But yet and still, Megan cannot watch her own ducks cross her own road. I stop it. Stop it. All right, y'all. I'm gonna put this one up, and it says, "I hope Mama Duck closed all her social media accounts. The Rangers would have to flood her account with all sorts of defamatory comments, threats, and roasting her babies and whatnot. Pretty much the same as they do for charities Harry and Meghan support." Where it's a lie. I bet you if the duck had a social media account, they would be on it. They would be. And if Megan opened a social media account for the duck, she would be a star. Her and her ducklings would get. It's just no telling what they would, what kind of response they would get, because everything Megan touched turns to gold, even a mother duck and her ducklings. And this particular squatty up under it, that post said this: right, plus the British media is already looking for her nest and trying to hunt down her baby daddies. Still trying to hunt that. They trying to hunt down the little ducks. I mean, the mama duck's baby daddy. Yes, yes. Don't be surprised. We're chuckling and we're laughing, but these people are fever minded. I would not put anything past them. They wouldn't be on there. If they could get on that property and find that duck, they would. And this particular squatty said they tried to sniff out every detail about the Sussexes, but never dissect why Pippa Middleton practically said, "My sister had no cancer. She had Kaying stone fever." They had to remove the evidence. Kate had a mental breakdown, allegedly. Now, I don't know. Like I said, I'm glad this particular squatter said allegedly, but we all know something went on. And allegedly, it was not cancer, because Pippa did. She pretty much came out and said the reason she went on vacation twice while Kate was supposedly in the hospital and also suffering with cancer and going through chemotherapy is because she was not sick in the traditional sense. Well, I'm telling you, what does cancer mean if it's not traditional sense of being sick? And she absolutely was not concerned enough to cancel a vacation because she went on two. So that tells you a lot about how sick Kate really was. And also, let's not forget, her husband went to South Africa for Earth Flop, sit down with, a reporter, did an interview, and basically said that she had precancerous cells, crossed his legs, and sit there and said that. And then I have yet to see the reporter to come out and retract any of that. She has not said nothing. And so the only people who have denied it or tried to push back was Kensington Palace. But the news organization, as well as the reporter, has said nothing. So that, to me, that says a lot. All right, y'all, I'm gonna put this up, and this squatty says Duchess Megan Sussex is videoed in what I guess is her garden with a cute duck and duckling family looking serene, wearing a simple white dress. Normal people, so cute. We love it. The Rangers defund all ducks. We hate ducks. They flock with the Sussexes. Well, it's a lie. I mean, I kid you not. These people are crazy. You should hear some of the deranged theories they have come up about a mother duck and her ducklings crossing the road. Megan is going to have to Really, this is what I think Megan should do. She should get a bite off of all the psychotropic medication, the depression and anxiety medication. She should get a bite off of that because she is causing so many people and driving so many towards mental illness to the point where they need or are on medication. Because if you go into these posts from these derangers, they have to be on medication. They have to, or they need to be. I'm just saying. And once they got a load of this one, I'm going to put it up. It says this particular post is at 5.4 million now. Just about every post that Megan puts up breaks a million, goes like 2, 3, 4, 5 million. And do you know that those folks over there would absolutely sell off their firstborn child to get that kind of engagement? Because we all know it is all about the money shot for them. And they cannot compete where they can't compare. And that is why the derangers lose their ever loving mind, because 5.4 million people have viewed the mother duck and her ducklings crossing the road. I love it for them. I do. Drive them crazy, Megan. Make sure you get some of that. Get a little bite off of that, those psychotropics. You deserve it because Lord knows you are the driving force for them to need it. All right, y'all, I'm gonna put this one up. And this particular post is just Chef Kiss. Why? Because it just says everything that needs to be said. And this particular squatty said this: they wish that weighty, lazy, and mediocre Kate Middleton was like Megan. Where is the lie? Where is the lie? It says, since she can never be like Megan, they have decided to destroy Megan's character instead of encouraging the weighty, lazy, mediocre Kate to improve and take speech lessons, among other things. Where is the lie? I have been saying this for so long. And this even goes for William. It goes for all those mediocres. They don't want to level up and to be a rival to Harry and Meghan. They don't want to improve themselves to the point where they're on the same level as Harry and Meghan. No, they don't want to do that. They want to tear Harry and Meghan down and continue on with their mediocre and subpar behavior. That is it. And this particular squatty says it perfectly. They don't want to improve themselves, not at all. They just want Harry and Meghan to stop being so good. That's all I can say. And down below, let's look at this squatty, what this squatty says below that post. They say, make no mistake, if it was Kate Middleton with a wildly successful Netflix show, royalists would be hanging from the rafters claiming she was the second coming of Christ. Where is the lie? If Kate Middleton was a fraction, we would say, let me say 35% of what Megan is, you could not tell those people nothing. They would just absolutely act as if she was the second coming, just like this particular squatty said. And that is the reason why they work so hard. I mean, overtime. Not just 40 hours, they go into 60 hours a week working on trying to destroy Megan, trying to bring her down. But in actuality, Megan just keeps on leveling up and they cannot take it. But yes, if mediocre, if very, very mediocre, lazy kitty cat was just a fraction of what Megan is, they would be thrilled. It's just the fact that she cannot compete where she can't compare when it comes to Megan. And they hate Megan for it. not her. And then this particular squatter goes on to say, it's not what Meghan Markle is doing that they hate. They hate that their future queen is not compatible to Meghan Markle. All right, y'all, I'm going to put this one up. And it says, and the Ducks win. In less than 24 hours, Meghan's duck video has been watched by more viewers than Kate's scalp cover up and ski backlash video released 6 days ago, filmed last month, combined with the one who sits on the throne's Easter message to his subjects, released more than a day ago. And look, as you can see, they're two together. Kate got 2.8 million, Charles got 1.3 million, and Meghan has 4.2 million and growing. Like I was just saying, Meghan's right now is up to 5.4 million. So it has absolutely beat both of their videos combined. That's the reason they so mad. That is the reason they mad, because they don't have that star power. And she did that in 24 hours. Case, her video been out 6 days. Charles been out a few days, I think. I don't know when he released that Easter video. But yes, but Meghan in 24 hours lapped them. And they hate her for it. They do. And all I can say is I love her for it. I'm just saying. All right, y'all. I'm gonna play y'all a sound bite, and it's been going around the internet for a while. But I'm telling you, I really thought about it today, and I went and found it. So I'm gonna play it for y'all because it's about what a bad biatch Megan is in a good way, meaning that Megan is influential. Megan has the power to make a mother duck and her ducklings the star. I mean, break the internet just crossing the street. And that is the reason why she gets so much hate, because she has so much power. And they hate on her because of jealousy and envy. They really want to be her. They secretly want to be her. So they hate her. I'm just saying. But this particular soundbite is when Meghan and Harry attended the Queen's Jubilee, and they came walking into St. Paul's Cathedral. And boy, did they make an entrance. Because her and Harry walked in like they owned the place, especially Meghan. Meghan looked like she just stepped out of the movie Mahogany. And if you know, you know, with Diana Ross, she had that same look. And yes, it was so good. So I'm going to play the sound bite and I'm going to put up some pictures. But I'm going to say this. It took me a minute to figure out what look Megan was going for. And it was definitely Dana Ross in the movie Mahogany. Tell me in the comments if you agree with me. But yes, that was the look that Megan was going for, and I think she nailed it. All right, y'all, I'm going to put up the pictures, and then I'll come back at the end, and we will discuss.
Yes, it's me. And you guys are angry about it. Oh my God, I make y'all feel that. Well, this will not take long. Well, I just wanted to pop up here and show y'all how I'm doing. I'm doing great. I'm looking great. I'm feeling great, you know. I'm over here very booked and busy while you bitches over here are still looking raggedy and not doing shit. Wow. But anyway, I just want to let y'all know I'm not going anywhere. So talk your shit, you shitholes. You can't defeat a bad bitch. You just cannot do that. I rise above that. Ew. So I just wanted to say, hey, here to stay, and you're gonna be mad every day. Success.
And that is what it reminded me of when I absolutely saw what a little video about ducks, how they got so pressed, how they got so triggered by the success of everything and anything that Megan does. And everything and anything that Megan does is a success. And boy, it bothers them. And I love it. Megan is not going anywhere. Megan is a biatch. She's a boss lady. And they might as well just understand that about her and get used to it because she's not going anywhere. Stay pressed. Stay pressed. That's all I can say. And y'all, I'm going to put up a picture of Mahogany, that movie. And like I said, it's an old movie, but I do believe Megan drew inspiration from this movie because it looks just like Megan looks just like Dinah Ross coming down that aisle. She does. Love it. All right, y'all. I'm going to put this up and look at this. It's bread and it looks just like a rabbit. It looks like an Easter rabbit. It does. I don't know if I had one, I don't know if I would eat it or pet it. It looks like a real rabbit. I have never saw anything like it before in my life. And look at the other ones on the shelf. Some of them eyes are closed. Oh my goodness. This is amazing to me. I cannot. I cannot. It is just too cute. But I don't know if I could eat it or not. It looks too much like a rabbit. Also, y'all, I want to put this up. And this particular squatty makes such a great point. And we have to remember this. They said, Squatties, we need to be promoting the Confessions of a Female Founder podcast tomorrow, which is today. Which is today. Yes, we need to get in there. We need to run those numbers up. We need to stay focused. It said you stay focused. We got to stay focused. We cannot get sidetracked on all of this nonsense. That's exactly what they want us to do. That's why I hadn't talked about what was going on with Meghan and Harry, Archwell withdrawing that money from that women's group. I said I was not going to put any more wood on that fire, and I meant that. You got to stay focused on what's important, and that is running these numbers up on this latest project, which is Confessions of a Female Founder. And this is what we need to concentrate on today. And it's always going to be some nonsense going on. We know that. Every time Harry and Meghan are doing big things, they come with the nonsense. And this is our week. This is our week, squatties. We're going to get to see our faves. Harry is going to be at the Aviation Awards. Meghan is going to be at the Time 100th Award giving her keynote speech. And we have this podcast dropping today. So we need to stay focused on that. Now, that doesn't mean that we can't fight with one hand, but we definitely have, with the other hand, we have to stay focused on what our faves are doing because, listen, they trying to distract us so they will make Harry and Meghan fail. We're not going to give them that easy win. We'll never do that. We got to go in. We got to run up the numbers. We got to stay focused, making sure we're focusing in on what is important. And that's always making Harry and Meghan winners. I'm just saying. All right, y'all. With all that said, I will see y'all next time. Bye.